What if everything you are told about happiness after 65 is incomplete? What if staying busy, staying positive, and staying social aren't enough, and never were? And what if one of the most powerful frameworks for a happy old age was written over 200 years ago, not by a doctor, not by a wellness guru, but by a philosopher who never married, never retired, and lived by the clock with ruthless discipline? Immanuel Kant believed happiness was not an emotion you chase, but a structure you build. And the mystery, modern psychology keeps rediscovering what Kant quietly outlined centuries ago. 4 pillars, miss even one, and aging becomes fragile. Build all 4, and old age becomes surprisingly resilient. But most people never connect the dots, not in youth, not in midlife, and especially not after 70. Let's start where the problem really begins, early adulthood. In your 20s and 30s, the dominant cultural message in the United States is simple: work hard, accumulate, delay meaning. According to long-running American life course studies, including the MIDUS study, young adults overwhelmingly prioritize income, status, and external success over internal coherence. The cause is economic pressure and social comparison. The effect is postponed identity. Kant warned about this exact pattern. He argued that when people outsource their sense of worth to external rewards, they weaken their capacity for autonomy. At the time, this sounded abstract. Today, psychology calls it external locus of control. And here's the early clue most people miss. Adults who never practice internal decision-making early in life struggle the most with aging, because aging strips away external validation. That weakness stays hidden for decades. Then come the changes that start quietly in the 40s. In midlife, physical feedback increases, energy fluctuates, recovery slows. According to U.S. health surveys, chronic stress markers rise sharply between ages 40 and 55, even in people who appear successful. This is where the second cause and effect chain begins. People respond to discomfort by doubling down on distraction. More work, more consumption, more noise. Kant would have called this avoidance of reflection. Modern neuroscience agrees. Studies from Harvard and Stanford show that chronic distraction reduces metacognitive ability, the skill required to evaluate one's own thoughts and choices. Here's the twist: the habits that help people cope in midlife often become liabilities in old age. Now we reach the shift after 70 that most people ignore. After 70, time perception changes, the future contracts. According to research from the National Institute on Aging, older adults place more value on emotional regulation and meaning than on novelty or achievement. This is where Kant's framework becomes critical. He believed happiness depended on 4 pillars: autonomy, moral coherence, purposeful routine, and dignity through reason. But most seniors were never taught how to build these. Instead, they rely on outdated advice: stay busy, stay cheerful, stay agreeable, and then comes the breaking point. This is usually triggered by one event: retirement, loss of a spouse, a health scare, a move. According to American aging data, these transitions often precede spikes in depression, anxiety, and cognitive decline. The cause is not the event itself, the cause is structural collapse. Without autonomy, people feel controlled. Without moral coherence, they feel regret. Without routine, days blur together. Without dignity, dependence feels humiliating. Now the fallout becomes visible. Health declines faster than expected. Medical adherence drops. Decision fatigue increases. Financial mistakes become more common. Studies show that older adults with low perceived control have higher mortality rates, even when income and health care access are equal. This is not about optimism, it's about architecture. And now, the failed fixes. Many seniors try to fix unhappiness with surface-level solutions. Travel more, volunteer randomly, stay constantly entertained. While these can help temporarily, they don't rebuild the pillars. So, what are the 4 pillars Kant believed would make life, including old age, stable and meaningful? Let's reveal them carefully, The first pillar is autonomy, not independence, but authorship. Kant defined autonomy as the ability to govern oneself by principles you choose. Modern psychology confirms this. According to self-determination theory, perceived autonomy is one of the strongest predictors of well-being at any age. In older adults, autonomy shows up as choice: what time you wake up, how you spend your attention, what you say no to. Without it, even comfort feels empty. The second pillar is moral coherence. This is the alignment between what you believe and how you live. Kant believed internal contradiction erodes peace. Today, studies show that unresolved regret and value conflict increase stress hormones in older adults. People who can say, "I lived by my principles," show lower rates of late-life depression, regardless of wealth. The third pillar is purposeful routine. Kant himself lived by an almost obsessive schedule. He walked the same route daily, not out of rigidity, but because routine frees mental energy. Modern research supports this. Predictable routines reduce cognitive load and anxiety in seniors. They also protect against cognitive decline. Purpose does not require productivity, it requires structure. The fourth pillar is dignity through reason. This is the most misunderstood. Kant believed dignity came from being treated, and treating oneself, as an end, not a burden. In aging, dignity is preserved when seniors remain decision makers, not passive recipients. Research shows that older adults involved in their own care decisions have better outcomes and higher life satisfaction. Now link this to today. If you are over 60, the question is not how to stay young. The question is how to strengthen these four pillars before something knocks them over. Here are 3 direct actions you can apply today. First, reclaim one daily decision that is fully yours, no justification required. Second, write down one principle you refuse to compromise and align one behavior with it this week. Third, create a simple daily routine that anchors your mornings or evenings. Here is the clear warning based on evidence. When autonomy erodes, health follows, and here is the open thought to hold. What if happiness in old age is not about adding more, but removing everything that weakens these pillars? If this perspective challenged how you think about aging, do leave a comment, and share this with someone who needs a deeper framework than cliches. Subscribe for the next chapter, where we explore why modern society quietly undermines dignity in aging, and how to take it back before it's too late.